completely unexposed ones that hasn't shown as much form yet that they seem to like, and you can kind of see why, given the way that the Yards horses were running last week. I mean, the two that ran in the sprint novice at Thirsk surpassed their 2-year-old form quite markedly.
Wally Rhodes makes his debut 3 for Adrian Nichols and Barry McHugh. Stall 2, homebred for David Armstrong.
Yeah, by Dandyman out of a mare who placed on soft ground, and she has produced a couple of soft ground winners by Mason, including Bickerstaff, who was a useful horse. So I think that Wally Road is of some interest. Bickerstaff won on his debut as well, so they can be horses that show their form straight off the bat, and Adrian Nichols can get one ready as well. So he would be the one. I mean, he's a 10-to-1 shot amongst those that haven't had a run that I can see showing up quite well. I suspect that Shotley Royale, who's related to a load of winners that are mainly sprinters, is probably going to need it. Raven's Applause likewise. So of the debutants, I thought that Wally Road probably appealed most.
Paddock-wise, of the debutants, I really like Raven's Applause. He looked like he tightened for the run, but yeah, he looked like a bit of quality about him.
Yeah, typical acclamation, and he's quite lengthy. But he looked a nice horse, and he is related to winners. His dam was from a good family, so there's some quality in there. Probably will just need the experience first time up, and he would tighten up a little bit for the run, you'd think. But Yard have had a really good season last year, particularly with horses that were coming up north, and they did especially well at this track. They had a good few winners here.
Yep, because of Paul Turner, he would jump out of stall 6. Richard King's coat on board. He's taken all in, ears pricked down at the start. Desert Games 11-8 and Snuggle is 18-5. I think I would have had them closer myself.
Yeah, I mean, Snuggle, you can take a lot of encouragement from his pedigree for handling the conditions. He was beaten at odds on last time out. He's just always been a little bit in and out. He's never been one that you can fully rely on, and he doesn't necessarily put 2 runs together, but on the back of one that you would class a bad run in comparison to his mark, I wouldn't be at all surprised if he bounced back. And if I was going to have a bet in the race, I think I'd rather back him by showcasing out of a mare who won on heavy ground. He's got some experience. You can look at his standard of form. Yes, he might not be open to the same level of progression as Desert Games,
but he's
run to a slightly higher level.
Yeah.
He's got more experience, and as you say, he's got fitness on his side. So,
and a lot bigger price.
Yeah. I haven't backed him, and I haven't had a bet, but if I was going to, that would be the way that I'd go.
William Dewars just going forward again, just he's exhibiting signs of greenness there before he consented to go into stall 9. As Snuggle goes forward. Desert Games in stall 4, Snuggle stall 5. The majority in the first race, apprentice ridden, stayed over the far side. Do you envisage that staying the same for this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Tralee Hills ran on well enough. Maybe if you're going to be out on that part of the track, someone who's getting forced there will come right the way across. But I suspect that they might just stay where they were in the previous race.
Yeah. Okay. This Northern Commercials Iveco's Way Novice Stakes over 6 furlong trip. There's Shotley Royal. He's half-brother to several sort of nice winners.
Yeah, lots of them was winning sprinters, weren't they? And not many superstars, but lots of solid horses that won races.
Yeah.
You know, I suspect he's going to be one of them.
Ruth had a few winners this time of year,
Forward a lot earlier than they often would.
Yeah, for sure. Right, we're getting there. The favourite's gone in to stall 4. Desert Games for Richard Fye, one of 2 runners for the trainer, Oceanora, aboard the favourite. Let's get back up to John and get the call.
Going in, rearing up rather spectacularly, giving Sean Kieran 1 or 2 nervous moments, undoubtedly. And 1 or 2 of the horses in the stalls have reacted to that as well. A couple of the handlers have gone in. Waiting for Blame the Farrier to come forward again. So Blame the Farrier goes in. They are all now installed. Ready and off. Very slowly away, Blame the Farrier in the Northern Commercials, Iveco, S-Way, Novice Stakes. Over the 6 furlongs, good speed in the early stages being shown by Desert Games, the favourite. So too Snuggle, the white cap, the outside. They're then followed by the blue of Global Crisis, then Wally Road in the red, followed then by Shotley Royale, one of the debutants in the grey sleeves, then Raven's Applause, followed then by Indian Falcon in the red and black colours. Blame the Farrier is last but one, and William Dewhurst is right at the rear of the field as they make their way inside the final 4. And it's Desert Games that leads in the hands of Oisin Orr. To in second position, Snuggle, moving rather wide and running maybe a bit green is Wally Road in the red colours as they make the climb. They're then followed by Global Crisis, and then Shotley Royale, followed then towards the outside by Indian Falcon, then towards the inner Raven's Applause in the blue and grey colours, and still towards the rear of the field William Dewhurst and the slow starting Blame the Farrier. They're starting to make the turn for home. 2 furlongs left to go, and it's a wave of 3. Desert Games, Snuggle, and the wide running Wally Road. That's the leading trio, followed then by Shotley Royale, who's trying to stay on, then Global Crisis, followed by the rest, making their way inside the final furlong and a half now. Desert Games, the far rail, Snuggle's been prominent throughout. Shotley Royale's looking for a run. Wally Road still there, Indian Falcon staying on as well. Plenty of chances, but it's Snuggle, the white face, just about out in front. Desert Games trying to battle back. Snuggle, Desert Games, Indian Falcon, and also Sir William Dewhurst in the back. It's going to be very tight. William Dewhurst, Indian Falcon, Snuggle in a 3-way go. Desert Games finished in 4th, but there wasn't much distance between the first 4.
Yeah, it can be a funny angle. The angle here, I'll let the judge separate them and watch the slow-mo. William Dewhurst diving late this side. Wally Road in the centre. It's between them two.
No, it's not Wally Road, it's Indian Falcon,
Sorry,
isn't it?
Indian Falcon, the other Richard Fahey, yeah. Wally Road's in 4th, 5th.
5th, yeah.
Yeah, so it's 4 Indian Falcon.
Shotley
9.
Royale's 4th, he's run well.
All on top of each other.
Yeah. Changed late, didn't it? Looked for a long way, as though Snuggle had won it, but he hasn't.
He in Desert Games.
The outcome of the photo finish for first place. First, number 4, Indian Falcon.
Indian Falcon has won.
Second, number
Richard
9.
Fahey had the favourite.
Third, number 7.
But it's the other ones. The second string beats. In second place, William Dewhurst for Ben Haslam and Paul Mulrennan. Again, like Newcastle, penny dropping late.
Yeah, and further evidence of Richard Fahey's horse has been in good form. He's had not loads and loads of winners, but loads of horses that have been running very well and hitting the frame, and he's managed to have a winner here, and Desert Games has run well. I suspect he might be better away from this kind of ground, but Indian Falcon by Mason has relished it, and he's stuck on really well.
Stall 7 beats stall 9. No surprise to see Blame the Farrier held proceedings up before the race slowly into stride from stall 8.
Yeah, he was slow away, sharp away with the market principles, really, weren't they? Desert Games was straight out to the lead, getting onto the rail, sat on his outside with Snuggle, and those two may well have softened each other up a little bit, getting racing into the straights, and it's just been left for horses that were more patiently ridden that have come to the fore, and the 2 fast finishers are in 2 of the last positions, along with Blame the Farrier at the moment, aren't they? So I think it probably is one of those where it's collapsed a little bit ahead of them, and they're starting to walk, the 2 that are leading at this point in testing ground, and they've the winner and the runner-up have to some extent picked up the pieces.
Yeah. Snuggle just in behind him. He's rated 77. Is he worthy of his rating still, do you think?
I think you'd probably say that something thereabouts, yeah, and I think the handicapper would be happy enough to rate it around him. He didn't run up to it last time out, but on the best of his form he probably has run to it, and you'd say that he isn't a million miles away from running up to his best. He probably hasn't quite run to